Hi guys, Zach here with another Command & Conquer Red Alert video. In this game I'm playing a quick match game against an opponent called Bordeaux on the map Tournament or Rift. And when I played this game I think Bordeaux was ranked around the position 20. Anyway, as you can see, first of all I'm going to be moving my MCV slightly, just put it in a more favourable position because there are two patches of ore on this map. Like close to my base anyway. There's one above and one below, so I've just got my MCV in a more favourable position for that, because I'm going to go for a longer game strategy rather than short game rush, which are two viable options on this map. And first of all, what I'm doing is I'm just getting my infantry into a comfortable position, so I can just defend my base from any early attacks. Now, the first thing I want to do is I want to get my infantry at the top of the map to go across the map, and it's really important that we do this early, because sometimes what opponents will do on this map, not so much I guess allied players, but they still can regularly do it, is move to the middle of the map. And in the middle of the map there are some gems that can be mined, so if your opponent does that you do sort of like need to change your strategy a little bit and attack earlier on. Anyway, what I'm doing at the moment is I'm just getting my infantry spread out here, just to stop my opponent getting past these infantry here. We don't really want them to know what strategy we're going for, whether I'm going to be going for a rush or a longer game strategy. And you can see me getting my first war factory down, and I'll be immediately building my second ore refinery, and I'm going to be building 2 ore trucks. And you can see my infantry going across the map there. It appears that my opponent is not in the middle of the map. Oh, and you can see them getting not getting past. Obviously, a player of Bordeaux's caliber is not going to leave infantry the base unguarded against infantry. And I managed to sneak an infantry in, so I'm going to need to kill that infantry before they get too much vision over my base. That was a bit careless by me there. I probably didn't have them. Yeah, it was just the bottom of the map. You can see there, I didn't really have it covered as well as I should have. And you can see it's trying to get one in at the top there, but that's not going to work. And now I'm building my second war factory, just to increase that building speed. And I think Bordeaux is going to be going for a longer strategy there. And you can see there was like a bit of space at the bottom of the map, which I didn't cover up. And that's, I think, how the infantry got in. And I'm just having a quick look there. I've actually managed to get one a bit further past and got a bit of vision on the base, but it doesn't give me much indication of what they're doing, except that they're not going for the rush strategy. So it means that I was okay building those 2 ore trucks early on. And we're just killing that infantry who's trying to get into the base there. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be bringing I've got loads of vision, which is really good. And I'm going to be bringing my tanks a bit forward, because I don't want to just wait for them to come to my base. Although I don't want to rush in too quickly. So we're going to go sort of towards this middle position of the map. And you can see I'm building another ore refinery. So I'm just going to keep on trying to build ore refineries and just build up my economy. And yeah, you can see that infantry there in the middle, just killing that. What you have to do is you just have to keep on looking all over the map and make sure you're not missing anything, which I have just done, which is that infantry guy there who's just firing on that ore refinery. But that's no worries, because it's only one infantry person, and basically I'm just going to pull back a little bit. Yeah, you can see, right, so... And you can see, there's Bordeaux's first force. So he's built light tanks also, and we're just trying to get in a good position. Obviously, what you need to do before you attack is you need to make sure your tanks are grouped together. And now we're going to go for the lunge. And I think we've got a little bit of a jump there, and we've got 1.5 tanks out before he realised. So that was a little bit of a win there initially, but now we're getting into the main fight. It's light tank v light tanks. You can see now I'm getting some medium tanks in. Medium tanks do have good HP. And we're just fighting it out now against the light tanks. So we seem to be doing okay at the time being. And you can see he's got those 2 tanks have got quite low health. And we're continuing to fight now. And I'm just going to add that extra ore refinery just to continue improving my economy. But the fight is going on. You can see now that I'm getting medium tanks reinforcing my tank force at the front. Bordeaux so far is sticking with light tanks. And it seems like Bourdais' numbers have actually picked up, and maybe it's because light tanks build faster, but now you can see Bourdais is starting to add the medium tanks also. And the fight is going on, and I'm losing ground and having to pull back a little bit. I'm just trying to obviously use Q move and try and like hit tanks that are stationary. And when you're in these situations where you're fighting lights and mediums, always go for the light tanks first, because the light tanks do about the same damage as the medium tanks, but they have much lower HP, so they're a lot easier to kill. And now you can see it's not looking good for me at all. My tank numbers were just too low, so at this point I decided to sell up and quit the game. So yeah, that was just, it did look good initially, but then it just got worse from there. So I did have a look. If we'll just have the stats there, you can see as the stats show, it looked quite even. It was just Bourdais was just that little bit ahead. And when I looked at the replay, you can see Bourdais had 3 war factories instead, and it actually got 1 less ore truck. I think I'd got 6 ore trucks. They'd stopped building ore trucks, and they'd sold the MCV, just giving them more tanks in that mid-game, and that's what won it. Now, we're going to another game now. This was against D-Train. I just had a game against him. It turned into a base race. I thought I was going to almost win there, but then I realised he had a hidden ore silo, which was just off the screen, and I lost the base race in that one. So we will go to the next match, and it was on Path Beyond, and this is what happened in this game. With Path Beyond, I would say it probably does favour allies a little bit, because it's more like of a light tank map maybe. But I would say the bottom right position is definitely worse off than the top left. Unless you go into the long game. I guess in the long game it gets better, but in the short game I'd definitely say the top left is better suited. It's just you have to sort of like build up through the ore patch above the base on this map. And yeah, I'll just place the ore refinery there, and I'm just going for the normal start. On this map, what you tend to get is you tend to build the second war factory before the second ore refinery before the second war factory. And you'll see just the standard play here. So I'm getting those infantry just spread out there. I usually use about 4 for that. And then I've got about 3 infantry just scouting, getting me a bit of vision of this part of the map. And it's usually the top part of the map where you get most of the fighting, but that's not always the case. And you can see me placing that war factory at the back of my base. And I've done a little bit of a mistake there. I should have had that ore truck gathering gems, which I didn't have. And now I'm going to send it to the ore patch above in order just to clear up a bit of space, so I can put my ore refinery in there and also put my small power plant and build upwards of my base. And you can see there's a little infantry trying to get into my base, but I've been able to block it. Of course, they will be able to see me when I start expanding to the top. And I'm just having a look at that little bit of ore that's just grown there. So that's actually worked out quite well. So I've been able to build upwards with a bit of speed, which is always helpful. It's better if you can do things as quickly as possible, because we're going to need to get that second war factory out to give us our increased tank building speed. And you always need to keep an eye out on both sides of this map, because you need to because tanks could come from either side, and it's just being aware of when a tank attack is incoming. I'm just going to move my infantry slightly upwards and just get rid of that little bit of ore in case it blocks my war factory. And there we go, we got that down, and we're going to immediately expand to that gem patch just above my base. And you can see me bringing those medium tanks up. But now we can see those heavy tanks are at the bottom of the base. So I'm going to come in to defend that. And that's why it's important to keep an eye out, because you don't know which side your opponent is going to attack from. And we can see he's got quite a number of heavy tanks there. So that's quite dangerous for me. And the fight's coming in. So we're going to try and get a little bit of a block here. Maybe be able to take out a couple of them before they even get to the base. And we'll get our ore refinery out there. And you can see he's got a couple of tanks have got through. But the other tanks, he's lost quite a bit there. And you can see some of those tanks are on low HP. And there's only 2 tanks that have reached my construction yard. But you can see there's 3 tanks at the top of my base. So I wasn't paying too much attention to that part. So he did get like a sort of a trick on me there. And it actually looks like this construction yard is unfortunately going to go... Am I going to save it? Just by the skin of my teeth, I've just managed to save it. And now I'm going to take my medium tanks up to the top of my base just to take care of those 3 tanks. And we'll have to watch the other side possibly because he might be bringing tanks in the other way. But we can see he's got some at the top as well coming in to reinforce this lot. And what I'm going to need to do now is I'm going to need to do some sort of counter because he will have the advantage in terms of the number of war factories he's got, although I'll have the immediate tank advantage at the moment because he has lost a lot of tanks doing that attack on my base. So what I'm doing is I'm splitting my forces up, I'm holding some tanks back to help to sort of defend, and I'm sending some tanks to his base. So we're going to have to see how this holds up. He's got 4 tanks there, and it looks like those heavy tanks are going back to his base. But we'll have to see if he's bringing in any other tanks to other parts of the map. And what we're going to do is we're going to go for his construction yard first of all. And you can see he's actually got a radar dome up, so you can see exactly what is going on. We've got his... Anyway, we've got that down now, so we're going to go for one of his war factories, and we're going to go for his second war factory. And I'm just getting my war factories down. But you can see that D-Train, he's got some tanks in my base, and now I've got his other war factory down, so I'm going to be bringing my troops back. But you can see he's going for my main buildings now, and I just need to make sure I hopefully can take out these tanks before he can destroy all my ore refineries. And I think we're going to manage to beat him here in these before he destroys all these ore refineries. So we've got 2 left, which is very critical because it means I can still build some tanks, even though my tank building speed is going to be very, very low. I'm just having a look at what's here. Yeah, so I've got no power at the moment. So we're going to go back up to his base. And it does look like he's still got tanks around, so maybe those are on low HP though, so they won't cause too much trouble. And we can see there's new medium tanks there, new heavy tanks there, so I thought I'd got all his war factories, but I haven't. He just still has some left. So this is going to be a bit problematic. Those 2 tanks are going down. So I'm just needing to keep an eye out because you can see here he's got infantry, he's got tanks. I think he's got he must only have 1 war factory left because I can't see him having 4 at any point. But you can see a lot of infantry going up there with another heavy tank. So let's go and have a look here. And indeed we see the war factory there. So we're going to try and take this out if possible. And you can see us losing tanks, and it looks like that war factory is going to go... Is it going to go down? I've got 3 tanks there, and I think it will. Now we're going to go for the barracks and try and take that out. Because obviously infantry can be quite a nuisance. And yes, this is looking quite good for me at the moment. And it looks like we're going to be able to get it just... And yes, we've managed to get that out. But you can see, he's got 2 heavy tanks there. And we need to try and defend this. I don't have any ore reserves left. So if he does manage, whatever he manages to destroy now, I can't repair. Because I've got no money. I should have sold it actually and got some funds from that, even though I don't know if you get full funds when it's like on very low HP. So what you can see now is I've got lots of tanks, but I've only got 1 barracks left. And it means that if he can like get through and just get... All he has to do is like, I can't repair it. So all he has to do is be able to destroy it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send some tanks up to his base in case he has anything else hiding out there. But yeah, it's very, very close. Now I'm just going to have a look at what he's actually bringing over. So he's got quite a few infantry. So what I'll do is I've got infantry to defend. And infantry do very well against infantry. Tanks possibly not so well unless you manage to squash them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put infantry at like either side. And you can see he has got a couple of tanks in there also. So I'm going to have to be careful there because I don't want to squash my infantry and get them through and then get the kill on it that way. And you can see some of those are going out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for his tanks first. We're going to try and get this kill hopefully his tanks won't get the squash on them. And now I'm going to send these infantry up, because you can see he's sending those infantry for the kill on the war factory, on the barracks. And let's see if we can defend it. He's got 2 tanks left, and it's only going to be a few shots. And it's on red HP, but we've managed to destroy those. And I don't think he has anything left at this point. And yeah, we're just going to keep these back in, just in case he sells something, gets some infantry out, or just, but I think that was the last of his forces. You can see him sending the York trucks over, but fortunately, I don't think he has anything left. We'll just have to wait and see and hope he's got nothing hiding anywhere, but from what I can see, he's completely done. So that was that was very, very close on a red barracks left, and it's actually quite lucky, because quite often what players will do is they'll sell the barracks. So it's just a good thing I didn't do that game, because I know I've done it in the past where you sell the barracks and you get a slightly quicker building speed later on. But the barracks has saved me there. You can see he's got that radar dome down. I think that was just to have a bit more map vision, but it didn't help in that game. And there you can see that last building's going down, and that's good game. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the videos.